didn't think it would affect me like this. Would you look at the person beside you and just say to him, would you pray for me, please? I didn't think it would affect me like this. There's a physiotherapist here who's standing on the side of the field to attend to wounded rugby players during an intensive matchup. Many of the agile athletes ended up limping to his table from a litany of injuries, ranging from a pulled hamstring to a calf strain. Dr. Damian Finnis ministered to each of them with a top-of-the-line ultrasound instrument that utilizes sound waves to alleviate pain. Within under 15 minutes, each of the 6 teammates exclaimed that they felt better and were prepared to go back on the field. It wasn't until the end of the game that Dr. Finnis realized that the machine wasn't even plugged up. It was then the epiphany hit that all of his pseudo-patients were healed by the placebo effect. The placebo effect is the incontrovertible demonstration of mind over matter. The medicinal community is replete with examples of individuals who have taken what constitutes a sugar pill or undergone a stimulated treatment, but felt that their bodies were better simply because their minds told them so. Because their minds sent a message to their bodies responded by the message that the mind had spent. Take, for instance, airborne. Airborne has not been verified by the FDA to do anything. But millions buy it before getting on planes to convince themselves that they're being protected. It is the expectation of thought that influences behavior. The African philosophers coined the expression that the Greek philosopher stole, according to G.M. James in his book, Stolen Legacy. I think, therefore I am. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man, as a woman thinketh, so is he, so is she, hence the placebo effect. I want to ask you this morning, albeit rhetorically, maybe you are where you are because of what you think of yourself.
That's deep. Come on.
Maybe you really don't think that you deserve better.
Come on.
That you can have better or that you can live better. And so your environment is responding to your thinking. Maybe you're frustrated, angry, bitter, recalcitrant because your mind is responding to the messages your mind is sending. It is, in no uncertain terms, the placebo effect. As a cinema aficionado, during my season of insomnia, I switched over to the classic movie channel and fell engrossed in an old black and white film entitled Gaslight. It's produced in 1944. It tells the tale of a world-famous opera singer who is murdered in her own home, but gets away with no valuables because the famous opera singer's 14-year-old niece walks in on her. So he escapes out the back room. After the tragedy, the young 14-year-old niece is sent away to boarding school. Years later, she mysteriously meets a man who takes her on a 2-week whirlwind romance and convinces her to marry him. Soon as they're finished the honeymoon, he immediately convinces her to move into the deceased aunt's estate. Soon after they move in, pictures start disappearing off the wall. Brooches are gone from the box.
I've seen this.
Furniture is removed from the attic and from the basement. All while her husband is trying to convince her that it was never there. It's only at the climax of the film that the viewer discovers the man she married is the same man that killed her aunt. He came back to finish
We
the
saw
job.
this, but God must want us
It
to
is the gaslight effect.
see something else
The
in it.
gaslight effect, hear me well, is when somebody tries to make you think you are crazy when you know that you are not. You know what you've seen, you know what you heard, you know what you felt, and they tirelessly trying to convince you